Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Podcast Room 303. Introducing one co-host with more nuggets than Chick-fil-A, Nick Morahan. Executive producer until we find someone better, Eric Washington. Nobody really knows what he does around here, Nevada Putnam. And now, the single greatest thing to happen to hosting in history, Jermaine Antonio Colon Mendez. On with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Podcast Room 303, episode 329. The 2025 NBA and NHL Divisional Breakdown Series kicks off both Atlantic divisions on this episode. No head-to-head, no pop culture pick'em, and no blind five. So without further ado, how are you doing this evening, Nevada?
Doing well. Enjoying some sports. It's one of the best times of the year. Eric, you can take that and shove it up your hoop. I think September is probably the best sports month. Eric, you think October? We'll see.
It's definitely October, bro. You have everything going on at the same time, dude. Come on now.
Ooh. Fucking October. This is fucking nonsense.
The best party holiday, or second best party holiday, because the first one's July 4th. Second best party holiday is in October. It starts to get, a little fall weather. All kinds of sports is being played. It's a great month, dude.
Fall weather. It freaking starts snowing.
We live in paradise, so it's a little different for us.
Growing up, we had to, when we did Halloween costumes, any kid who's grown up Midwest or Northeast, something like that, anytime you had a Halloween costume, you had to build it around your coat because it was going to be too cold. You couldn't just go in with, your regular costume. It's got to be like, no, it's going to be freaking frigid, so your costume better fit over your jacket.
That's what's so good about Halloween, though. Hoes don't get cold, so we still get all the slutty fits out there. You know what I mean?
Hey, when you're already cold-blooded, you don't feel it.
That's why I don't wear jackets during Halloween.
Oh,
because you a hoe.
Well, thanks for spelling it out.
I just want it on record, dude. I don't want, in case anybody missed it, I wanted them to hear it.
Okay.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
For our dense viewers, Eric was trying to say that Jermaine is a hoe because he does not wear coats because he does not get cold. Does that help you out, Eric?
Perfect. Couldn't have done it better myself.
Yeah, we know. We heard the first attempt.
Hey. Over there, hoe.
To the left. Everything you own on the screen to the left. Just kidding. NHL, let's go.
All right, so we're going to jump into our NHL season preview. We'll be doing the Atlantic Division. Really quickly, I do have last year's results. It was Jermaine, Nevada, and myself. We didn't get any picks from Nick. So Jermaine went 47-55. He got one division winner right. Nevada went 43-57. He got one division winner right. Nice. And I went 35-71, and I got nothing right.
Hold on. Say mine again.
47-55.
So I had the most right, though?
You had the most right, yeah. Nevada got second at 43-57, and I was lagging behind at 35-71. I picked multiple people to win the Stanley Cup. None of them got even close. None of my division winners got close. I got nothing, dude. I don't know shit about hockey. But anyway, I digress. Moving into the 2025-26 NHL season. We got this here. We'll be starting with the Pacific. So last year's order was Vegas. So the Golden Knights, the Los Angeles Kings, the Edmonton Oilers, the Calgary Flames, the Vancouver Canucks, the Anaheim Ducks, the Seattle Kraken, and the San Jose Sharks, respectively. That's how they finished. This year, Vegas has the Vegas Golden Knights finishing first. They are plus 850 to win the Stanley, plus 155 to make the playoffs, minus 1,100 to miss the Sorry, let me backtrack. Plus 155 to win the Pacific, minus 1,100 to make the playoffs, plus 650 to miss the playoffs, and their point total is set at, or over under set at 104.5. And let me see if I can share this
real quick while Eric's pulling that up. For those of you confused about your oceans, the Atlantic is on the East Coast and has East Coast teams, whereas the Pacific is on the West Coast and has West Coast teams. Eric was just a little ahead of himself, getting the Pacific division riled up when we were talking about the Atlantic division that he said we were covering.
Oh, my bad, yo. I jumped the gun there, yo.
It was a good rough draft. Good start for when we get to the Pacific. But the Atlantic, the tougher division of the two in the Eastern Conference. But you were doing a hell of a job. I couldn't stop you there.
Whoops. Wait. So this does say Pacific on the sheet. Are we doing Pacific or Atlantic?
We're doing Pacific. Atlantic is next week.
Okay.
All right.
Am I all up? Real bad?
No, we're collectively confused, even though we had a pre-show. We're good. We're back in, locked in. Golden Knights. Give us the deets. Will you zoom in a little bit for the viewers?
Yep. Let's see if I can situate this. All right. So right here. I don't know who half these guys are, so I can read the names off, but I have no idea what I'm talking about. They signed Cole Reinhardt from the left wing from the Ottawa Senators, Jacob Magna, defender from the Florida Panthers. They re-signed Jonas Rondberg, whatever, dude. I'm gonna butcher most of these. Right wing they re-signed him, and then Dylan Coughlin signed from, that looks like Winnipeg as a defender. They lost Victor Olofsson to the Avalanche. They lost Tanner Pearson to the Winnipeg Jets. Dyson Mayo to, I believe that's Columbus, and Mason Geertsen to Buffalo. Nevada said the draft really isn't that important, but I'll give this to you really quickly. In the second round, they got Jacob Wozniak, right winger. In the third round, they got Matteo Nobert, which is what, center? And then in the sixth, they went Alexander Weiermeyer and Gustav Sojqvist, center and defender.
Yeah, so just so that way you don't have to hurt yourself trying to pronounce these names, we'll skip the draft. They're most likely not going to play for this team. This year. This team specifically, they're not playing, so we just won't do drafts. Free agency, we'll keep covering though.
Cool. All right, you guys got any picks? There's really no sense in going over the schedule. Everybody plays everybody in the NHL, so we can just jump into picks here.
Yeah, I'll go first. I think Vegas is going to have a regression, especially since they got their very precious cheating rule rescinded this offseason before the season kicked off. The NHL nipped that in the butt incredibly quickly. So now you can't be over the salary cap for a playoff run, which honestly makes a whole lot of sense. I don't know why you could have done that otherwise. It was pretty crazy to know that you could. So 104.5 is a great line. Give me the under. I expect a little bit of regression from the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm not going crazy though. They'll still make the playoffs. And I do not have them winning the division this year.
Cool. Nevada?
Yeah, Vegas is going to be a problem. I'm trying to remember. I can't find it now. Yeah, like Jermaine said, they did lose the LTIR, sort of. It's still there. You just can't use it as much. But the biggest addition by far is Mitch Marner. He was a stud for the Leafs. Just kind of disappears in the playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see how he does with this team in the playoffs. Now that he's still one of the top guys for them, but he's obviously not he's not required to carry the team like he was in Toronto. Obviously, they had Austin Matthews and others, but there was a lot of pressure on him, especially in that kind of market for Toronto, that I think it got to him. Whereas now here in Vegas, he can kind of live his own life, have a lot of pressure taken off of him. I certainly have them making the playoffs. Man, for me, it's a toss up at the top for who wins the division. Um, I'm gonna go no for the division because for the team I think will win the division, I have a signing that they may do, which may solidify some things for them. And based on that, 104, I'm gonna go over. But again, I don't think they'll win the division. I think that addition of Mitch Marner puts their offense at even higher level than it has been in the past.
All right. So moving into the next team. Last year's third place finishing team predicted to finish second this year, the Edmonton Oilers, plus 900 for the Stanley, plus 170 to win the Pacific, minus 1,000 to make the playoffs, plus 600 to miss the playoffs, and their point total over under 103.5. They signed Andrew Mangiapane from the Capitals, Curtis Lazar from the New Jersey Devils, Riley Stillman from the Hurricanes, and Matt Tompkins from the Tampa Bay Lightning. They relinquished John Klingberg and Jeff Skinner to the San Jose Sharks, Connor Brown to the New Jersey Devils, Corey Perry to the Los Angeles Kings, Lane Peterson to the Philadelphia Flyers, Ronald Attard, Attard, to the Colorado Avalanche, and Philip Kemp to the Pittsburgh Penguins. What do you guys got?
Go ahead, Nevada.
Edmonton's the team I'm going to take for the division. We've seen what they've done for the last 2 years, going to the Cup back-to-back years. They still have a guy named Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Zach Hyman will be back once he gets healed up from his, I believe it was a broken wrist. Mangiapane is a solid winger. Good depth piece. Losing Connor Brown sucks. He was a great third-line guy for them. So that'll help or hurt a little bit. Obviously, they don't have Corey Perry, so now they're actually in the running to win the Cup because that guy is apparently the antithesis of winning cups. Defense is solid. Evan Bouchard gets a big contract deal. Matthias Ekholm should be back, ready to go. Darnell Nurse, I think, has taken another step. Troy Stetcher was good when he stepped in, and Jake Wallman, who they got at the trade deadline as well. I think this team, we've talked about year after year. If this team had goaltending, they'd probably be the favorite, if not have already won a cup. It just came out today that Carter Hart was part of that not NHL, Junior Canada, whatever it was, where it was him and like 5 other guys that were basically on trial for sex assault. They were acquitted, and the NHL said today that they are free to sign with whatever team and can start playing. I believe it was December 1st.
Correct.
Yes, that's correct.
And Eric, you had Carter Hart there in Philly. His rookie year, he carried the team. He had a little bit of a down years after that, but that was also on a Philly team that wasn't necessarily competing for cups or playoffs versus Edmonton certainly is. So it's kind of been the joking rumor that once they were acquitted, Carter Hart was signed with Edmonton, but that probably is the realistic spot. He's got a good shot where he could be the starter there. Edmonton needs solid goaltending. There's your solid goaltender. I think that's what's going to put them over the edge to at least win the division.
You got the over, right?
Yes, on points.
All right. Jermaine?
I mean, how many years am I going to just ride Edmonton?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. Give me the over points. Yes to make the playoffs. No to win the division. I will continue to doubt now.
All right.
They're no longer my Myles Garrett. Screw you, Edmonton. I hope Connor McDavid leaves to the Kings.
Damn. Just
How original.
Thank you, Nevada. Thank you. Just copying that Gretzky swag, dog.
Yep.
Well, he's got to win one first before he leaves, doesn't he?
No, you don't have to.
All right, bet. All right. So last year's second place went to finish in this division with the Los Angeles Kings, projected to finish third this year, plus 2,200 for the Stanley, plus 370 to win the Pacific, minus 350 to make the playoffs, plus 260 to miss the playoffs, and their over-under line is set at 98.5. Moving into this, players they signed in the offseason: Cody Secchi from Dallas, Brian Dumoulin from the New Jersey Devils, Joel Armia from who's that?
Montreal.
Montreal. Oh, that's Montreal. Okay, from Montreal. Anton Forsberg from Ottawa, Corey Perry from Edmonton, Logan Brown from Tampa. They re-signed Taylor Ward. They brought in Samuel Bolduc from the Islanders and Cole Gutman from the Blackhawks. They released Vladislav Gavrikov from he went to the Rangers. Tanner Janot went to Boston. David Rittich went to the Islanders. Caleb Jones went to the Penguins. Jack Studnicka went to the Panthers. And Samuel Fagemo went to the Winnipeg Jets. What do you guys got?
Yeah, the Kings took a big hit with the Vladislav departure. So they kind of replaced him with two different guys when they brought in Secchi and Dumoulin. Yeah, I like that they brought in Forsberg. I like that they brought in Perry, and because of that, I'm going to bet them to win this division and go over on points. But kiss of death, as Nevada said, they will be shit in the playoffs. Well, here's the thing: they'll make the Stanley Cup Finals. They won't win it. The Corey Perry special, bro. That's what he gets for fucking people's moms.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, the Kings are what you see is what you get. They're what they were last year, solid team. Darcy Kemper pretty much stood on his head the entire year. If it weren't for Connor Hellebuck in Winnipeg, he would have won the Vezina for best goaltender. His stats were right there with Hellebuck. Like Jermaine said, losing Gavrikov is huge on the defensive side. You throw him out, he would shut down whoever the top line is or whatever player it was, which obviously is a big benefit to Darcy Kemper. Losing that is significant. They kind of transitioned their defense a little bit more towards a offensive style, just because they don't have the people to be shut down defensemen for the most part. Obviously, I don't have them winning the division. I'm going to have to hold off to see if they get the playoffs. We got a handful of teams here who are going to be a little bit more pesky than we would anticipate. So I will hold off on the points and playoffs for now.
You're going to hold off on their over-under as well?
Is this Nevada saying he's going to put the Anaheim Ducks in the playoffs? Insane work. Insane.
Nah, not yet.
All right. Last year's fifth place team, the Vancouver Canucks, predicted to finish fourth this year by Vegas, plus 7,000 for the Stanley, plus 1,400 to win the division, plus 105 to make the playoffs, minus 135 to miss the playoffs, and their line, over-under line, is set at 90.5. Pulling up the page for you guys here. Share this tab. All right. So they signed Joseph Labate from Columbus, Pierre Oliver Joseph from the Penguins, Jiri Patera from Boston, Jimmy Schultz from San Jose, and Mackenzie Urchin, whatever, dude. They released Pius Suter to St. Louis, or they lost Pius Suter to St. Louis, Noah Juleson to Philadelphia, Cole McWard to the New York Islanders, and Philip D. Giuseppe to the Winnipeg Jets.
Giuseppe.
What do you guys got?
What a name. I think the Canucks, man, they had a rough go last year, especially with the all the drama that went on in their forward group. New coach. I'm not thrilled about them. They got some guys here and there, but if Thatcher Demko for their goalie is healthy and can play the entire year, then they might be able to sneak in. But obviously losing him for a lot of part of the last year showed they weren't able to hold in games. I think they're going to be a solid offensive team. They bring in Evander Kane in a trade from the Oilers, so that should add some offensive pop. Obviously, still got Quinn Hughes on the back end. I don't think they're going to be, if they get in, it's going to be as a wild card, and they'll be fighting for it. But as far as the top 3 team, I'm not going to take them, and I'll take them under on points.
Okay, so just the under for now.
Under, yeah. We'll have to do the Central before I see if they get into the playoffs.
Perfect. All right. Jermaine.
Yeah, Vancouver's window is kind of closed, unfortunately. I mean, it wasn't much of a window, but like as far as being a playoff team or having a shot at the playoffs, I think it's kind of closed. You could, as evidenced by the money that they spent in free agency, right? I think they spent a collective of $5 million in free agency on a couple different players. It's, so when you're trying to compete with these top teams, especially in this division, I mean, just talk about a murderer's row of any one of those 3 top teams could win the Stanley Cup. I just think Vancouver's going to get overmatched in here, so they'll hit the under. They won't make the playoffs, unfortunately. But they're not a team that you're going to want to face every night. They'll put hits on you, and they could steal a game from you, especially later on in the season. They might be one of those teams that's shaking up playoff races by taking the full 2 points from people when they were expecting to get that win. So unfortunately, I would love to sit here and tell you the Canucks would make it, but they're not going to.
All right. Moving into last year's 6th place finishing team, the Anaheim Ducks are predicted to finish 5th by Vegas, plus 10,000 for the Stanley, plus 2,500 for the division, plus 250 to make the playoffs, minus 340 to miss the playoffs, and their win total over under set at 84.5. Moving into this screen. Sorry, I got a big thing here. They signed Michael Granlund from Dallas, center. That's the only signee they had this offseason. They relinquished Isaac Lundestrom to Columbus and Carson Meyer to Buffalo. So a very minimal offseason for the Anaheim Duckies. What do you guys got?
It doesn't matter. We take the over points. Let's go, Ducks.
All right, over for Jermaine. What else you got?
It's a good pickup that they got from the Dallas Stars with Michael Granlund. He a lot of playoff experience, a lot of know-how, a lot of getting people right. So that's kind of important with a young team like this. And I just think Anaheim was scrappy last year, right? And what did they end with? 80 points last year. They ended with 80 points last year. They were a fun team to watch skate last year. Wasn't a whole lot of defense played from that team. If they can play a little bit better defense, this is a team that could very much be knocking on the wild card door. And Nevada's going to have to hate himself because he's going to have to watch playoff Zegras. And that's his own nightmare come to life.
Yeah, Zegras isn't on the team anymore, but
I know.
that would be interesting. Yeah, Jermaine kind of said with Mikhail Grunland, that's a huge get for them. Absolutely massive piece as far from a veteran presence, but also just from a pure skill presence. He should solidify the. Let's see, he's going to fit in as the second line center behind Leo Carlson. It'll be interesting to see if Lucas Dostal, their goalie from last year, if I'm not mistaken, he also got an extension, well deserved. If he can play up to where he was early in the year, this team's got a lot of young players. They're up and coming. You talk about guys like Mason McTavish, Cutter Gauthier, Leo Carlson, but I think what's really gonna, I guess, benefit them, but it could also be their downfall is their defense. They've got maybe one of the more exciting young defensive cores in the league. Defense and especially young defenders are one of those things that take some time to come up. But guys like Olin Zellweger, Jackson Lacombe, Drew Hellison, all very exciting offensive defensemen. And then you got some older vet, more traditional defensemen, Radko Gudas in the Truba train, thrown or taking people's heads off. So they're going to be exciting. I'll go over on the points. I'm not going to have them in the playoffs. I think they'll be in the hunt, but I just don't think they quite have the experience or the maturity quite yet. Next year could be a totally different story, but not quite yet. The top of this division is just too heavy, and we haven't even talked about the Central.
Exactly. If they do make the playoffs in a wild card, their coach will be on the short list for coach of the year.
Absolutely.
So Nevada has the over and no on the playoffs for Anaheim. Jermaine, you have the over, and I didn't catch it. Were you saying they are getting the wild card, or you're not?
I got to go through the Central first. Right now, I'm going to take the top 3 to make the playoffs. I'll probably abstain from the next 5 and make the decision when we talk about Central, because Nevada just alluded to it, but that Central division is
cool. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything.
They could get 5. Like, that's how crazy that division is.
So moving into the next team, the Calgary Flames finished 4th last year. Vegas has them finishing 6th this year, plus 10,000 for the Stanley, plus 4,000 to win the Pacific, plus 270 to make the playoffs, minus 350 to miss the playoffs, and their point total over under is at 82.5. Moving into their offseason, a relatively quiet offseason. They only re-signed Joel Hanley, defender. They did lose Daniel Vladar to Philly. He was a goalie. Anthony Manta, a right winger, to Pittsburgh, and Jonathan Asperat, a defender, to Boston. They had a relatively quiet offseason, just like Anaheim did. What do you guys got?
I think the Flames, I may be totally wrong. I probably am, because Vegas doesn't agree with me. I think the Flames are going to be one of the top 3 teams, probably the number 3 team for the Pacific. They re-signed Dustin Wolf, their stud goalie. I think it was yesterday. It's like 7 years, $7.5 million. Big contract for a young goalie. He showed last year that he can do it. The offense, again, very veteran-laden. A lot of guys who have proven they can do it. Kadri, Huberdeau, Joel Farabee, Blake Coleman, Mikhail Backlund, a lot of guys. Their defense could probably use a little bit of help, but they got good young guys like Zane Pareka, who showed up last year. He showed he could do it from time to time, so just getting more consistency out of him, I think, will be huge. Mackenzie Weegar, if he can get back to his offensive days that he had with Florida before he came over. And then Rasmus Anderson, if they don't trade Rasmus Anderson, he's going to be a stalwart on the defense, but he is a very popular trade candidate because of what he can bring back in the return of a trade. So I'm high on the Flames. I think last year a lot of people, I think myself included, thought they were going to be kind of in the dumps, but they showed out quite well. It shows they almost got 100 points last year, sitting at 96. I think they should do that. I'm not sure why they've got a 14-point drop off for their point total. I like Dustin Wolf. I think he'll be able to keep them in games when maybe they shouldn't, and I think that's where they'll be able to steal points. So I got them for the playoffs, but obviously not for the division.
Okay. Jermaine?
Yeah, I think I'm more inclined to agree with Vegas on this one. The team's core is another year older, and I honestly expect them to be sellers at the trade deadline, especially they might even be sellers before the season starts with what Nevada was just talking about. But yeah, I expect them to sell one more time because they've sold a few players in the last few years. They'll sell and retool, and I think Calgary will probably end up pretty good in the next year or two. Look, the Central got 5 teams last year, as evidenced by only 3 highlighted green here. You have teams here who will show marketed improvement as well. So there's only so many points to go around in this league, and when you're playing everyone, I just don't know where Calgary is gonna gen up that many points. And considering what was the lowest last year, Central's had 5 teams above 96 points. You know what I mean? And then you have the top 3 here. Utah is going to be very good this year from the Central Division. Nashville, I can't imagine Nashville does what Nashville did last year, right? So it's a lot of interesting things. So I don't know if I see Calgary getting into the playoffs this year. I can't take the over-under on 82.5. Just that's such a crazy drop-off in points. I don't think Calgary got that much worse. Especially when they got 96 last year and they just missed out on the playoffs. So they'll get over points. I just don't know if they have enough to make the playoffs. But for sure, give me the over on Calgary. That line, it seems, I don't know what Vegas has to know something. They usually always do. But 82.5 seems too low.
All right. Contrasting opinions here. I love it. All right. Moving into last year's seventh place finishing team. Again, Vegas has them finishing 7th. The Seattle Kraken, plus 20,000 for the Stanley, plus 10,000 to win the Pacific, plus 5,500, plus 550 to make the playoffs, minus 900 to miss it. Over under total points 78.5. Moving in, Seattle also had a fairly quiet offseason. They signed Ryan Lindgren
That's a big signing.
Yeah, defender from Colorado, 4 years, $18 million. Seems like a pretty big signing with hockey contracts. Matthew Murray, goalie from Toronto. They lost Michael Esamont to Boston. He was a center, and Joe Veleno to how do I keep forgetting? Montreal center as well. Damn, that logo needs to change, man. It's a ridiculous logo.
It's one of
one of the most iconic logos in sports.
That's what I was going to say.
There's a big ass C for. Never mind. God forgive me. I was going to say. All right, what do you guys got for Seattle?
Oh, this is me. Look, man. Seattle should just invent a time machine, because the players that they had available when they did their expansion draft and they did not take, it has really hurt this team to the point where their inaugural season, they were a darling. Not only did they have the awesome First Energy Reliant Stadium with the new ice and graphics and the Kraken logo and the sweet jerseys, and then that awesome first-year run. But here we are, and now they're perennial bottoms of this division, and I just don't see their way out yet. That Lindgren pickup is very nice. I just don't know if it's enough to help this team get it done. I actually think that the Seattle Kraken will finish last in this division. So give me the under in points, no to make the playoffs, obviously no across the board. So that lets you know how I feel about the Sharks this year.
All right, Nevada.
Yeah, I think they'll finish probably right where they're at right now. I'll go under on the points. They got Mason Marchment from Dallas, which is nice, so I don't have to see his stupid face in the division anymore. But the offense kind of more or less is the same. Defense, yeah, they got Ryan Lindgren, but he's quite injury prone. It seems like every year he's always getting hurt, usually for good reasons, laying his body on the line. But every time he takes a puck or a hit, that's like, hey, good job. It's like, shit, lower body injury. He's out for 3-4 games at a time. Alexiak, Montour on the back end, Vince Dunn. Based on where they're at, and as Jermaine alluded to, they got some work to do to figure themselves out. I think they should be sellers, kind of like what Jermaine was saying with the Flames. They need to get some sort of spark. Their offense, particularly their forwards, there's not a guy, a superstar. We talk about this every year with the Hurricanes. There's not a superstar stud guy. Closest thing they have is probably Jared McCann. He's, pushing 40, 50 goals, stuff like that. But he's not a top tier guy that's going to carry a team through the playoffs. So, under on the points. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they finish at the bottom, but they're also just deep enough where they could pop up and still be seventh. But I don't see the playoffs for them.
Word. All right. Moving good, boys. Here we're at the last year's 8th place finishing team. Predicted to finish 8th again. They only had 52 points last year total. The San Jose Sharks plus 50,000 for the Stanley, plus 30,000 to win the division, plus 1,200 to make the playoffs, minus 3,000 to miss the playoffs. And Vegas thinks they're going to add about 20 wins somehow because they have their over-under points at 71.5. Now, San Jose was some movers and shakers here in the offseason. They did have a bunch of signings, so we'll get into it. Dmitry Orlov from Carolina, defender. John Klingberg, defender from Edmonton. Jeff Skinner, a winger from Edmonton. Adam Gaudette, a center from Ottawa. Philip Kurashev, a center from Chicago. Colin White, a center they re-signed Colin White, a center. Cole Clayton, a defender from Columbus. Jimmy Huntington, a center from Pittsburgh. Samuel LaBerge, a center from New Jersey. They re-signed Pavel Regenda. He's a winger. And they signed Jakub Skarek, a goalie from the New York Islanders.
Columbus's logo.
Yeah.
But not Montreal.
Yeah, fuck Canada, dude. All right. And then I stand firm on that, dude. They're the armpit of America. Anyway, Scott Saborin, right winger, went to Tampa. Walker Durr, right winger, went to Ottawa. And Jimmy Schultz, defender, went to Vancouver. What do you boys got?
If I'm a Sharks fan, I am loving the future.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we saw it last year with Macklin Celebrini. He had probably the best rookie year. Shit. I mean, Kaprizov, that's kind of a one-off because he was really a Russian adult who just wasn't eligible yet. But he was everything you wanted and more, and that's probably his floor from last year. Him with Will Smith. You bring in Ryan Reeves, not an offensive guy, but someone who can protect the young guys out there. Jeff Skinner, I don't know, he's like 46 or something, just keeps playing. He's another vet who can give him a lot of guidance and stuff. I think what is potentially the most exciting, well, maybe not the most, but something promising is their goalie, Askarov, who we talked about him last year. He came over from Nashville. He wanted to be the number one. Nashville said, pound sand, said, okay, get me out of here. He went over to San Jose. They didn't give him full number one goalie playing time, but they gave him much more just to make sure they didn't blow up his confidence or anything like that. From what he showed here and there, he has what it takes. They just need to shore things up bit by bit. Defensive side, stuff like that always helps out the goaltender. I'm excited for them. They're still, not the playoffs. They still need another year or two, get some more guys in, especially on the defensive side to help solidify it. But they're going to be fun. I think I really enjoy where they're going. I'm going over on the points. I think they'll be just under a 500 team, which would be 82 points. They're currently sitting at 71, so I think I got them in the mid to high 70s. High 70s on their probably the upper end of where they should be performance-wise.
Yeah, I mean, as a Blackhawks fan, well done, San Jose. This is exactly how you build around a number one pick. You bring in players who have playoff experience, who are veterans, who can help show them the ropes and help them take another step forward. They added more pieces in this draft that just happened, and I'm sure they've got prospects in the chamber that we're not even talking about who can come in and make impact plays. But bringing in Dmitry Orlov and Klingberg to be D-men for this squad is nice pickups. Skinner, like Nevada said, it seems like he's putting Tom Brady to shame with how old he seems. But that dude's always around winning plays. You know what I mean? And he just knows how to play connecting sports. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like he knows how to make other players on the team good. So, yeah, this is why I'm high on San Jose to finish above Seattle this year. Like, Macklin Celebrini probably had the best rookie season of at least this decade thus far, right? 5 years in. So I'm taking them to smash their over. Unfortunately, they will not make the playoffs. This is why NHL is already talking about expansion again. There's a lot of talented teams in the NHL right now. And fortunately for San Jose, they have a guy who they can build a playoff run around. It's just not happening this year. Next year, maybe they can make noise to make the playoffs with the third-year Macklin Celebrini. Maybe some of those guys they drafted from last year's draft can come in and help fill some minutes, or they sign a big free agent. But that's what I'm expecting from San Jose. Seattle's will be bottom of this division, and they probably have a top 5 pick, which Seattle should look forward to because Seattle needs that. Seattle needs that desperately.
Mm-hmm.
But for my finishing order, I think I'm going. So I got Kings to win it. Oilers number 2. I'll take Knights 3. I'll take. Oh boy. I'll go Ducks, Flames, Canucks, Sharks, Kraken.
You got the Canucks 6?
That's correct, yeah.
All right. So you've taken the top 3 of the playoffs. You're undecided on Calgary and Anaheim until we get through the Central?
That's correct. Calgary and Anaheim. I may end up switching Calgary to go 4th, and then obviously to make the playoffs. But the Central's stacked. I don't see myself doing it if I'm being honest.
All right. Nevada, before I get your finishing order, I just want to follow up. You don't want to give a Kings over-under yet? Or do you want to?
I think
98.
98?
Yeah.
I'll go under for now.
Okay. And then San Jose, you took the over, right?
Yeah, he took the over.
Just wanted to make sure, because I was multitasking here. I just want to make sure I didn't mess it up.
Subtext wasn't paying attention.
Finishing order, Nevada. What you got? You have the division winner, Edmonton. What do you got after that?
Edmonton, Vegas, Calgary, Kings, Vancouver, Sharks, and all of them. It's all of them.
Anaheim?
Anaheim. I'm going to throw Anaheim ahead of the 6th.
And then Seattle 8.
Correct.
San Jose 7. Perfect.
That's correct, yeah.
All right, so we have powered through our NHL Pacific division. We will circle back and make sure we get all the playoff teams situated here. But any final thoughts on this division before we jump into the NBA, boys?
Go Hawks.
Yeah, I think it's there's good teams in here. Unfortunately, they share the same conference with a much better division. That's that's all I can say about it.
Makes sense. All right.
Pacific will be fun though. They got a lot of teams that could make some noise. Like I said, they're a team that could beat somebody who's trying to make the playoffs and end up costing them. That's what that division feels like.
Yeah, it kind of feels like from a prospect perspective, it feels like, say 5-7 years, this division's going to be flipped and it's going to be the Anaheims and the San Jose's who are just kicking ass. And we're going to be like, yeah, we can see it because, these guys and these guys, it was a young core and it just kept building and building and snowballing.
Yeah, the California teams they're doing a good job. I wish the Blackhawks were doing as well, but hey, man, we keep drafting in the top 3. We'll eventually be good. I hope.
Yeah. Right? The Edmonton Oilers effect, maybe? Question mark.
I am Rob Burgundy. All right, boys, we're running a little long here. Obviously, 8 teams is a lot to cover, so I think we did a pretty good job on that. But let's go ahead and get into the NBA here. We're going to kick it off with the Pacific Division. For the uninitiated, that includes the Lakers, Clippers, Warriors, Kings, and Suns. They had 4 teams make the play-in last year. 4 teams make the top 10 last year. Share the screen.
Yeah, give me 1 second. So just to go over last year, we didn't get any picks from Nevada. It was me and Jermaine. Jermaine went 42-55. I went 47-55. Hopefully we'll have Nevada this year. It'll be a little more fun. But jumping into the
I went 42-55 and you went 47-55?
Yeah, because the difference is I picked a couple more people to possibly win the championship, which they were wrong. Yeah.
But how do you had more? If you picked more, how do you have more wins?
We can just look at the sheet post. Let's focus on moving forward here, brother. All right.
I just don't understand how the number doesn't add up. So
let me
that's
go.
All I'm asking.
Let me go show.
You didn't see those numbers and be like, how did we get here?
No, yeah. So I'm sorry. You didn't give me a finishing order for that division last year, so I didn't know what to.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you didn't give me a division order. So, all right, moving into this year's Pacific. Last year's first place finishing team predicted to finish first again, the Los Angeles Fakers, plus 1,400 to win the NBA Finals, plus 170 to win the Pacific Division, minus 425 to make the playoffs, plus 320 to miss the playoffs. Their over-under set at 47.5. Moving into their offseason, they went ahead and signed center DeAndre Ayton, power forward Jake LaRavia, point guard Marcus Smart, center Jackson Hayes, and then they got some guys on some 10 days. I won't get into that. And then they drafted Adu Thiero, a small forward. I don't know where he's from. Let me see if I click on it. It tells me anything. Arkansas. What do you boys got?
Oh, I mean, I don't know, man. It's hard to fade a team with LeBron and Luka. you know what I mean? Like, I don't care who they got them. It's regular season. There's a bunch of no tryhards out there. So I'll take the over 47.5. Actually, that's crazy.
That's a lot of wins.
I mean, injuries. Boy, I'll take the over 47. I'll take the over 47.5.
All right.
I really want to. Yeah. So, can you drop the link in the chat for Nevada? Just Nevada will take over for it because you're the hoop head.
Oh,
you and Nevada are switching roles, by the way.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, I got you.
We were trying to coordinate off screen on the chat, but
I don't have chats open because I'll get distracted and I won't pay attention. So that's on me.
Fair enough. No, that's why I was like, because you're a hoop head. So, well,
yeah.
he watched no hoops last year because as a form of protest, but we still count him as a hoop.
It's a silent protest, even though I'm not really silent about how much I hate the Philadelphia 76ers now.
All right, give us the skinny on what you think with Los Angeles.
I think any team that has LeBron James and Luka Doncic is going to be a fiery team. They brought in some size, which was their biggest weakness last year. So I'll take the over. I do have them making the playoffs. With the play-in, LeBron's not going to miss the playoffs with a play-in availability. And I don't have them winning the division though. I have a stupid pick for who's going to win the division this year, like I always do. But yeah, it's I'll take the over for sure. I think they hit 50 again.
Q the one team that he likes in this division. Nevada, would you like to take a guess which of these 5 he actually likes in this division?
I know it ain't the Clippers because it's got Kawhi there.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair guess.
My guess, I'm gonna go with that he likes. Oh man, I'm gonna go with the Kings.
There you go. That's who he's picking for the division.
I picked them every year because I refuse to pick anybody else, dude.
See, Nevada's locked in. Yeah, look, LeBron, Luka. I don't care how many games LeBron misses this year. I think we can. It's safe to say that we'll pencil him in for like at least 8 now, just because he is older. So, I'll take the over. Yes, to make the playoffs, and I'm with Eric. I don't think they win the division. I think JJ Redick's a hell of a coach. I'm curious to see if Austin Reeves makes it through the season. They refuse to trade him. So, brother, they were playing lights out defense with no centers and power forwards last year. Don't hand gesture in the screen at me. So I am just curious to see how this team shakes out. I'm curious to see how the shooting rolls out with what they've done in the offseason and the changes. And I wonder how DeAndre Ayton's actually going to, affect this team, whether it's negative or positive. Everywhere he's gone, he has walked in and thought he should be catered to like he is the star, and he has not ever proven that he is the star. So it's going to be interesting to see how he feels on a team with LeBron and Luka, if he still has that kind of entitled attitude. If LeBron and Luka can get him dialed in, then so be it. Luka for MVP, as long as he shows up to camp as fit as he was for that fitness magazine cover.
That was CGI, bro. Don't front.
Fucking hater.
Photoshop, whatever you want to call it. Bum.
Real quick, Eric, did you have over or under for the Lakers?
I'll take the over for them. I fucking hate them, but I understand hoops, and they're going to win 52, 53 games this year.
If they don't, we're going to be talking about it as shocked.
Yeah.
All righty. Next up, finishing second last year was Los Clippers. To win the finals, they are plus 2,800. Win the division at plus 180. Make the playoffs minus 475. Miss the playoffs at plus 330. Over under, same as the Lakers at 47.5. As far as signings go for the Lakers,
Clippers.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that? Yeah, Lakers. Or Clippers, sorry.
It's all right. They all suck, dude.
They signed James Harden, Brook Lopez, rookie, oh my gosh, Yannick Conan Naderhauser, Nicholas Batum, Bradley Beal, and the ageless wonder Chris Paul. Let's see, those are all 10 days. As far as the draft goes, they brought in Kobe Sanders guard. I'm sorry, they acquired Kobe Sanders guard from the Knicks and John Collins from Utah. And their draft, again, Yannick Conan Niederhauser, forward.
That's such a crazy name, dude.
I kind of like that, though. So he plays for the German national team that has been making noise in the FIBA Cup, if I'm not mistaken.
Making noise, huh?
Yeah. So let's see. I'll clear
Loud
that
German
up for you guys.
noises.
You want to go ahead, Derek?
Well,
I'm gonna let you start because you're about to you hit your usual.
No, I was just gonna say one thing we didn't talk about is Steve Ballmer's a cheating piece of shit, and he was paying Kawhi Leonard under the table because they're both fucking idiots. And I hope that there's massive suspensions and playoffs, and they force him to sell the team again. I can't stand the Clippers. I can't say anything about the organization except for their really cool building that they have. Kudos to that. But basketball wise, they already had Zubac, who was a phenomenal defender and rebounder. They brought in Brook Lopez. I don't know if it's to like rotate him when Zubac goes down or what. They're gonna play them together. We haven't seen that yet, but I think it was Zubac was first and Brook Lopez was third in shots defended at the rim last year. They're going to be a really tough team to play in the paint. Again, Kawhi Leonard's health is going to be in question. Chris Paul's old as hell. James Harden disappears in the playoffs, but he'll be a regular season stud. Probably average a double-double for them. I like the coach. I dislike everything else about this organization. I think they go under because there's going to be some suspensions, and I don't think they make the playoffs.
Yeah, the NBA investigation isn't going to hit this year, I don't think.
Oh man,
it'll probably hit in the offseason. If I was a betting man, and that's what we do on this podcast, that's the way I see it shaking out. This is kind of the last year that this Clippers team will be able to exist in the way and shape and form and fashion it is, because they're about to get hit with one of the meanest penalties we've seen in professional sports history. This will make what the MLB did to the Houston Astros look like, playing FIFA on rookie. So I'm going over for the Clippers. I got them winning this division, and I just like what they did. They've insulated themselves for the eventual 41 games missed by Kawhi Leonard, right? James Harden is phenomenal in the regular season. Bradley Beal is terrific as hopefully he embraces a bench role this time. We'll see how that goes. And then Chris Paul came in to take some ball handling work off of James Harden. Can Chris Paul at 41 years old realistically give you 30 minutes a game? Absolutely not. But Chris Paul is a backup point guard giving you 22, 24 minutes a game is a phenomenal bit of coaching. As E mentioned before, Ty Lue is a terrific coach, one of the best in the league right now. And then Zubac and Brook Lopez allow him to nonstop pester people for 48 minutes. And Ty Lue's teams play the way Ty Lue played in the NBA. They get in your ass defensively. So I think that this Clippers team will be formidable with or without Kawhi, and they've insulated themselves. They've built depth, and that kid, Niederhauer, is actually a Swiss player.
Swiss.
I
really hope the NFL or the NBA handles business and hands out suspensions and penalties pronto, because what they did is insanely shady. Insanely shady.
It's not even that bad.
It's insanely shady. But since we don't think they're gonna do the
no, I don't think you bet how you think it shakes out.
Well, just in case, because
I didn't call Adam.
just in case, because I'm not going to change my over under, but I'll put them in the playoffs. I'll switch that up in a bit. I'll put them in the playoffs, considering 10 teams can make it. So bums.
Yeah, so we have precedents here before where, and look, they still signed Kawhi Leonard to a max contract. They just gave him extra money on the side. But the Timberwolves did the same thing with Joe Smith, and they lost 5 first-round picks. And Joe Smith's contract was voided, and they lost his bird rights, so he became a free agent to sign somewhere else. So, yeah, Steve Ballmer will probably be suspended at minimum for a year. And Kawhi Leonard will probably be a free agent at the end of this year. And because I don't see the NBA will probably have a decision by February. The NBA isn't going to strike down the Clippers mid-season and throw Kawhi Leonard into free agency in the middle of the season and potentially alter the playoffs unfairly. That's the only reason why I just don't see it happening this year, right? So that's my perspective. They're going to have to interview everybody top to bottom. They're going to have to investigate these shell corporations. They're going to have an independent arbiter review all the documentation. Like, there is a process that will be followed. They'll have their decision. I'm probably sure they already know what they're going to do, because I don't think that this is one of those where there's smoke, there's fire. Well, no, we're already at the fire. So, like, yeah, they're going to get slapped. I just don't see it happening now. The timing and the release of this, the only way it happens is if it happens before the season starts, and then we can very, very easily come back on this podcast and retouch on the Pacific Division. Let's go ahead and get into the third team.
Third from last year was the Golden State Warriors, finishing at 48-34. To win the finals, they are at plus 1,800. To win the division at plus 210. To make the playoffs at minus 360. To miss the playoffs at plus 280. And their over-under is set at 46.5. I had to refresh this page a couple times just to make sure. The Warriors were extremely quiet. They acquired Alex Tui and Jamal Mashik, both forwards from Phoenix, as well as Will Richard from Memphis, guard. They traded away Kobe Brea to Phoenix as a guard, and then Jamal Mashik and Justinian Jessup to Memphis.
Yeah, so it looks like they acquired Jamal Mashik and then traded him to Memphis. They said bye.
Yeah.
So sorry, Eric. Like, 1 second. Golden State. Look, Eric and I will give our picks. This will be incomplete until the saga that is known as Jonathan Kuminga settles itself. He has currently not found a sign-in trade for another team. He's a restricted free agent, and that's kind of what's held up their entire moves. And I do believe they intend to sign Al Horford, but he has not signed as of yet.
Yeah. So I know we were talking about earlier, but this is actually going to be who I picked for the division winner. I know it's wild, it's reckless. There's a lot of uncertainty with this team, but I just like the combo of Jimmy Buckets and Steph Curry, man. Like, I think in a regular season, with the experience they have, the defense, well, hopefully Steve Kerr can keep coaching them up to that defense, that level of defense we've seen from them. I actually have them as a division winner. I'm obviously going to take the over on them. A lot of question marks for this team, like you brought up, the Kuminga situation. I don't understand that kid. Like, I what has he really done to earn what he's doing? Like,
he thinks he's the man.
He's like DeAndre Ayton, but like worse.
He's never done anything in the NBA. DeAndre Ayton at least averages a double-double.
Yeah, so I'm still going to take him for my division winner, a team that's this well coached, this well GM'd in the past, with a leader like Steph Curry. They can overcome stuff like this, and I refuse to pick the two teams above them. So I'm going to go Golden State to win the division. I'll go the over, and it could be a really like a really bad year for them if things don't go well. If it falls apart with Kuminga, but I think they'll find a suitable trade partner with him. The kid's gonna have to at some point realize, like, look, dude, like, if I want to be in this league and I want to play, I gotta humble myself a little bit, and I think that reality will set in at some point.
Yeah, I was expecting Eric to pick the Sacramento Bulls, but I figured he'd pick the Golden State Warriors. Look, Jimmy Butler paired with Steph Curry is phenomenal. It's all health related. We're at that period where both these boys have carried franchises to multiple NBA finals. Yes, you heard that correctly. Jimmy Butler carried it to multiple NBA finals. But it's going to be health related. I don't know how an older Steph Curry and older Jimmy Butler continue to pursue. There is a lot of rumors going on. Look, so the Warriors are rumored to sign after the Jonathan Kuminga nonsense happens. They're rumored to sign Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, Gary Payton II, and Malcolm Brogdon. If you get rid of Jonathan Kuminga and then go sign those guys, that's fantastic additions to any team. One or two of those guys would be fantastic additions. All four is crazy. It's crazy. So I don't know what's happening with this Jonathan Kuminga thing. It's unresolved. I don't know how to value this team. Here's what I know. Steph Curry is the top 10 NBA player of all time. Jimmy Butler is a top 75 minimum. Steve Kerr is top 10 greatest coaches of all time. Therefore, give me the over. Yes, to make the playoffs. I just don't see them not being good.
Yeah. I knew about Al Horford and Brogdon. I didn't know about Melton. That would be crazy good for them.
That's what I'm saying. And Gary Payton II, obviously, he only plays good for them.
I thought he was. I saw him the other day talking to Steve Kerr at some, summer camp nonsense or something. I figured he was already signed. So in my head, I already figured he was with them still.
Yeah, look, the Jonathan Kuminga saga is crazy. There's two more unrestricted free agents: Quentin Grimes, Jonathan Kuminga, and Quentin Grimes. The rumors around it are that he's just waiting for Philadelphia to clear cap space, and they expect that to happen with the next few weeks. So
yeah, when we get to Joel Embiid. Fucking pussy.
All right, let's get into the 4th team. Let's get through these last two teams pretty quickly.
All right, next up, finishing 4th last year, the Sacramento Kings at 40-42 to win the finals at plus 50,000, win the division at plus 3,500, make the playoffs at plus 350, to miss the playoffs at minus 475. Their over and under this year is set at 35.5. As far as free agency trades, they acquired Dennis Schroeder, Dougie Buckets McDermott, and Drew Eubanks. As far as trades, they traded for Dario Saric and Dennis Schroeder. They kind of traded Nick Clifford. They traded away Jonas Valanciunas to the Nuggets. And for the draft, they also drafted Maxime Reynaud.
Go ahead.
So my take on the Sacramento Kings is I'm going to take the under for one very specific reason. I think our boy DeMontis gets traded. I think it's time.
You heard rumors, or you just being bold?
Being bold. I don't see why he would.
Like
I don't see why he would want to stay, and I could see a return to Indiana. I know maybe not likely Indiana because of the injury to old boy, but I think he deserves to go somewhere else where he has a chance to be a contributor to a playoff team. They shipped off his mates, and they just seem to be a team in purgatory. They had like that one year where they were like first in the West for a while. I think they may even have been the 1 seed or maybe the 2 seed going into the playoffs. But this is just a franchise that sits in perennial purgatory. Coaches revolving door. They had stud players, man. They just couldn't get it done with them. They moved them out. They sent De'Aaron Fox down to San Antonio, who just signed a big ass extension. Yeah, I actually have them on the under, and if I think I'll take them finishing. Well, I don't think we have division orders. Do we have? Yeah, I think I'll take them last in this division. They're the only team in this division that I like. But again, this is just a franchise that's, I'm not gonna say cursed. I throw that word around too loosely, but they're just they're disenfranchised.
Yeah, so the Sacramento Kings keep making the mistakes of firing a good coach and replacing him with a not good coach, and they have now been trapped in that purgatory for 15 years. Look, De'Aaron Fox, a lot of people are higher on De'Aaron Fox as a player than I am. His game doesn't develop. He reminds me of John Wall. And John Wall's teams hit ceilings incredibly quickly, right? So getting rid of De'Aaron Fox in that trade, I thought they did a pretty good job, especially adding Zach LaVine, who is a very good basketball player. But they are essentially trying to do what the Chicago Bulls tried to do 3 years ago with the same roster. Like, this is their projected starting lineup: Malik Monk, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, and Domantas Sabonis.
Oh, dude, on paper, that's such a good lineup, but it's like
on paper, it sounds great, but it's not going to work. Domantas Sabonis will catch the ball in the paint and not look at the basket. He refuses to develop a jump shot. Keegan Murray, I think it's time to start living on that dude's draft hype and just be like, he ain't delivered.
Yeah.
And let's call a spade a spade. He is a maybe average, above average starter in the NBA. He's a starter who should be a bench player. Trey Lyles is better than him. And Trey Lyles is on the bench. And Malik Monk is hurt. I just don't see where this Kings team gets anything. 35.5 is a phenomenal line because of and they just remind me of the Chicago Bulls. If no trade happens, they easily smash it. They go 40 and 42. They go 39 and 43. They go 38 and 44. So no to make the playoffs, no to win division, no none of that. That over under is spooky. I'm going to go with Eric Stradamus. I'll take the under since people are going to get traded.
I for sure thought Sabonis should be traded, but now that I think about it, their biggest trade piece for a playoff contender is probably going to be Zach LaVine if he keeps playing at the efficiency rate that he played at the last few years in Chicago. There could be a team that comes knocking, and you might as well get what you can because you're not going to win a championship with this roster.
They should trade Sabonis for Embiid.
Hell yeah, I'll take that in a heartbeat.
Of course.
Hell yeah. Throw in LaVine and DeMar DeRozan too.
Oh, yeah. Just throw them all in. This guy, that's it. I hope the Sixers.
Hey, you watch him out.
Grimes. Well, you don't even watch him anyways. Bubs.
Right.
You're right.
You're right.
All right, fifth and final team, boys. Let's wrap it.
Bringing up the rear from the division last year, we have the Phoenix Suns, who came out 36 and 46 last year, plus 50,000 to win the NBA Finals, plus 7,500 to win the division, plus 700 to make the playoffs, minus 1,200 to miss the playoffs, and their over/under is set at 30.5 wins. As far as free agency goes, they brought in Colin Gillespie and Nigel Hayes-Davis. Their other free agents are currently been axed. As far as the draft is concerned, they brought in Kaman Maluk. I think that's right, or wrong. The Duke center. Rasheer Fleming, power forward. The big movement for the Suns was trades. They acquired Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, Kaman Mulak, who you'll hear here in a minute, and here it is, Jamal Mashak, all from Houston in exchange for Kevin Durant. They got Mark Williams from Charlotte, Rasheer Fleming, Minnesota pick, Kobe Brea, Warriors, Adu Thero from the Nets, and then Daquan Plowden, what a name, from the Atlanta Hawks. They traded away, like as we mentioned, Kevin Durant. Vasily Micic goes over to Charlotte. Liam McNeely also goes to Charlotte. And going to the Warriors, Alex Tuhey, and there he is, Jamal Mashak.
That dude's on everybody's team.
He is.
Yeah. So I know people are gonna think, losing Kevin Durant is a major deal. Bradley Beal walking at the door, not so much. But what they got back for Kevin Durant to put around Devin Booker, not gonna be a playoff team. But I do have him finishing above the Sacramento Kings. I think they'll be a fun team to watch. Jalen Green's exciting. Dylan Brooks is feisty. Devin Booker's a stud, or has the potential to continue being a stud. I don't know. We'll see. Mark Williams at center is cool. I don't think they're very deep, but I think they'll be a feisty team. I see them going over the 30, probably like 32 wins, 31 wins. Definitely not making the playoffs. They'll finish fourth. But they got draft capital back, and they got some interesting players to put around Devin Booker, a nice little backcourt. Or I guess, are they going to play all three of them, you think? You think they'll go Green, Brooks, and Booker out there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be a feisty little backcourt, dude, playing some tough D, and they're pretty athletic. So we'll see. But the future could get better for them pretty quickly with the draft capital they got. Devin Booker is still a player you can build around. But for this season, I have him fourth. Like I said, they'll be feisty. They'll win 31-32. That's why I'm taking the over. I think that's a good line. Yeah, that's all I got.
Look, they added Mark Williams. They added Kaman Maluak. Nick Richards they added previously, which is funny because Nick Richards and Mark Williams were both centers for the Charlotte Hornets, and now they're both buried behind Kaman Maluak again. And I was just like, damn, we finally got them separated so they could actually get minutes, and now there's three of them. But Dylan Brooks, Grayson Allen, and Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Monty Morris, like Cody Martin, Royce O'Neal, like they have a squad of players that if they just lock in and play together, this could be a very good basketball team. I think Devin Booker is going to remind people just how good he is. I think a lot of people forget how good Devin Booker was. Like everyone gives Chris Paul the credit for taking the Suns to the postseason with DeAndre Ayton, but like Devin Booker was the reason why they got there.
And it's like, are we really going to bash the kid for taking a backseat to arguably the greatest offensive arsenal in NBA history?
Kevin Durant's a dog. Yeah, Kevin Durant's a walking 25 a night, and the easiest 25 a night in the flow of an offense. So, yeah, I think Devin Booker's going to be just fine. He's going to remind people just how good he is. And the best part is we're going to see Devin Booker with the ball in his hand because Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green aren't point guards. You know what I mean? Like Chris Paul is no longer there. Like Monty Morris is a backup, but he ain't going to start. So this is Devin Booker's team. He's the point guard. He gets to set the offense. He gets to dictate rhythms, matchups. Now if he can figure out how to get the ball to the players who need it when they need it, Devin Booker will unlock another part of his game and elevate himself into conversations of being one of the best players in the NBA. And that's kind of what and he's going to do that quietly this year. Like nobody's going to know that Devin Booker's balling because the Phoenix Suns have zero expectations. They'll get zero national coverage. Nobody wants to talk about a team that just traded Kevin Durant. They want to talk about the team that acquired Kevin Durant. But Jalen Green was a number 2 overall pick. Dylan Brooks has been a contributor for multiple playoff teams. He's a culture setter. He's a tone setter. And him and Grayson Allen defensively can be menaces with Kaman Maluak as well. If he just shows any semblance of the defense that he had in college and that he has with the national team, we can see him slowly develop into one of the most fearsome defensive stoppers in the league, which we already have some crazy guys, but Kaman Maluak will eventually throw his name into that hat with Rudy Gobert, Victor Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren, Joel Embiid. Like, I think the world of this Kaman Maluak kid. He is the kind of player that you want on your team because he's going to do all the disgusting things that nobody talks about and nobody wants to do. And then he's going to turn around and do it with a smile and say, thanks for the paycheck. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the kind of kid that I get behind. He's just out there to hoop. And this dude picked up the basketball like 4 or 5 years ago. If you like read his story and just see how good he's gotten in 4 or 5 years, it's crazy. The potential is limitless, and he's only had the best coaching wherever he's gone. I know Coach K's showing up in sweatpants and a fucking coffee in a Yeti cup. You know what I mean? He gone, but he ain't gone. Yeah, exactly. Coffee is spiked with some Jameson. Living that best life. Look, this Phoenix Suns team, I like what they're doing right now. It sucks that they don't own their picks. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of like negatives going on, but if these players on their current team develop, they can have a very good squad. And Rasheer Fleming, the number 31 overall pick and the first pick of the second round, I believe, out of St. Joseph's, quiet name to watch. He could be their starting power forward in a year or two. So, it's a fascinating squad. Honestly, this is a must kind of watch squad for me just because of all the question marks. Like Devin Booker with the ball in his hand, Jalen Green off ball, finally free. Can he develop into what we've all wanted him to develop into? And that's kind of what Phoenix is betting on, that they can get what Houston couldn't out of Jalen Green. Give me the over and then no across the board. I like that 30.5 line's good. I think Devin Booker and with the talent on this squad, it's not a bad team. I think they can get 30 wins.
The cool thing about the NBA is Devin Booker can go out and get you 6 wins alone on his own, right? Like even more than that, maybe. And the level of competition is kind of leveled out, I think, especially on the Western Conference. I mean, I think Houston and Oklahoma City have kind of separated themselves. Denver reconstructed a little bit, but this is a team that could be like in the mix for the play-in. Like I wouldn't be surprised, is what I'm saying, if they're in the mix for the play-in.
They've got the potential. They won't live up to it because Kamal Malawak, like I said, is still very green. You're not going to be able to depend on him in high leverage situations because the basketball IQ isn't all the way there yet. The National Basketball Association is different than college, and he's going to be banging against grown men, right? Yeah. And he has a fantastic physical stature, but he ain't got Rudy Gobert, Jokic, Embiid. Like those are some hosses, some hog mollies. They ain't light in the ass, and Kamal Malawak is. So he's going to have to figure out how to defend those guys, and he's going to have growing pains as a center. So I think they will be feisty early on, similar to how Utah has been. And as the season gets on, you'll see a drop. But I will say that Devin Booker has the chance to win the scoring title this year.
I like that.
Devin Booker has the chance to win the scoring title this year, and I think it's a fantastic bet. Don't know the odds. That's just me talking through these divisions. Devin Booker no longer has to give the ball to anybody. You don't have to give it to Chris Paul. You don't have to give it to the number 1 overall. You don't have to give it to Kevin Durant, one of the greatest of all time. Devin Booker has the ball, keys to kingdom, 35 shots a night. This man loves Kobe. You know he's got it in him.
35 shots a night is crazy work.
I'm just saying, dog.
I've seen that since Kobe.
Exactly. I'm just saying, like, we can see that this year. So I like the Phoenix Suns. A lot of overs in this division. I think 3 playoffs teams, it's usual suspects, unless Clippers get the SMU death penalty. But that's the way I'm going. So final division order for you, Nevada. I'll take Clippers, Warriors, Lakers, Suns, Kings.
I like it.
And Eric, for you, I got Clippers, Lakers, Warriors.
There we go.
Lakers, Clippers, Suns, Kings.
And I'm really thinking about switching the Clippers to miss the playoffs and put them at 4th, but let's get through some other divisions, and then I might bring the hate in full effect in a couple weeks, but we'll see.
Don't listen to him chat. His hate's already in full effect.
Whatever, dude.
Jermaine, as far as your Devin Booker scoring leader, I can get season point per game leader, but they don't have.
That's the same thing.
Okay. So Booker is at plus 2,200.
Ooh, that's juicy. That's a no-brainer auto bet for me. Devin Booker scored 70 points in a game before.
He's gonna be unhinged this year too. He's like, oh, y'all want to sleep on us because we traded Durant. Let me show y'all what I got.
Look, Russell Westbrook won the MVP the year Kevin Durant left the team. Russell Westbrook won the MVP because his usage rate shot through the roof, and he always had the ball in his hand. What do you think they're going to do with Devin Booker? They ain't going to be like, Devin, let's run Jalen Green. They just signed Devin Booker to a 2-year, $80 million, like $100 million contract extension. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to tell this man, shoot the ball. We'll figure out the rest.
Yeah.
That's what Devin Booker's going to do.
Yeah.
Real quick on the scoring leaders, those ahead of him: SGA plus 140, Giannis 180, Luka 800, Ant at 1,700, Joker at 1,800, Joel Embiid at 2,000, and the walking 25 a night, KD is at plus 10,000.
Yeah, KD never leads the league in scoring because he doesn't ever he gets his points in the flow of an offense, which makes him the scariest scorer of all time. What we're looking for is SGA to lead in scoring. We know SGA will have the ball always.
Yep.
Anthony Edwards always, Jokic always, Giannis always, Devin Booker always, right? So we see all these guys always have the ball. Kevin Durant almost never has the ball. That's how good Kevin Durant is at basketball. Like,
insanely efficient, man.
He is just insane. So when people try to trash Kevin Durant, I'm just like, man, you really don't understand what that man's doing. What he's doing is arguably harder than what the other dudes are doing. It's my same argument when you talk about quarterbacks who only throw the ball 20 times in a game. It is way harder to be great when you only have 20 attempts. You know, it's easier to get 300 yards when you throw the ball 41 times.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's easy to get 35 when you took 28 shots. Kevin Durant don't do that. Kevin Durant, I think one of the craziest stats I ever heard about Kevin Durant is like he almost never leads his team in shot attempts. Like if you go historically looking through it, Kevin Durant almost never leads his teams in shot attempts, right? And you never lead the team in shot attempts, but meanwhile, he's number 11 or 10 on the all-time scoring list. That just shows how great that man is. And he's missed multiple seasons with crazy Achilles injuries and come back like nothing happened. Anyways, I'm just bloviating because Kevin Durant is that dude. You know what I
mean? He is currently 8th all-time scoring.
Yeah, I think he started last year like 11th or 10th and he passed them all. By the way, Devin Booker plus 2,200 courtesy of Nevada from Good for Checking Odds. I think that's a phenomenal bet. So, you guys got anything else?
Go Birds.
I don't think we. Yeah, I don't think we talked about any birds on this. Oh no, we did talk about a duck. We did talk about a duck.
Go Anaheim.
Yeah,
we're in the playoffs, boys.
We ain't even talked no football. Somehow, go Birds, dude. This is why we hate you.
Me?
No, the Eagles fans.
I mean, I thought you were one of my brothers, but all right then, dude.
Yeah, it's all hate though. Nah, I love you, brother. You guys got anything else for the 10s and 10s?
No, sir.
Nada.
All right. Follow us on X, Instagram, and YouTube at Podcast Room 303. I'm your host, Jermaine Colon Mendez. These are our executive producers, the Nutty Putty and the EPE. We'll see you next time when you come on down and step into the room.